Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. So today we are doing a deep dive into what makes a really good CV. And a lot of us probably have given our exams in the July attempt and are waiting for the results to come out. Amidst this, let us probably understand how one can make a good CV and how one can get shortlisted across different domains, right from consulting, investment banking, management trainee profiles, and even professional services firms. Today we have Abhijeet joining us. Abhijeet, can you probably start off by giving us a brief on what makes a good CV for a CA aspirant or a CA professional itself?
Hi Anirudh, and this is like this is something which I we might have we all have faced this issue when we got got done with our exams, and the next big thing is ki, okay, we need to get a job, or first for getting a job first, very important thing is that you need to have a CV. So when I had to start building my CV, I was like in a big question mark or big dilemma ki, what should be the starting point, like how does a CV look like? Should it be colorful? Where should I put my photo? What should be the structure? So CV building is something which takes a good amount of time, because if you want to have a good CV, it will take good amount of time. And CV is something which is the biggest filter in your job process. So like 95% of the people get shortlisted or get rejected only because of their CVs. So this is something that needs a lot of attention, but people don't give that much attention. They just ignore. Okay, why? Fine. What is going to happen? They will see how good I am in my interviews. But to get to that interviews, you need to have a very good CV. So let's start with how to build an ideal CV. So you might have heard a lot of people saying, you should put your photos, you should use PPTs, you should use graphics, like a pie chart showing how much efficiency or proficiency you have in that particular, like say, MS Excel, how much proficiency you have. So 98% or 95%. So that is something which is like it is good for the eye, but it's not something which the recruiters are looking for. They need a plain black and white CV. And so you can see your on your screen. So this is like a very plain black and white CV. No fancy stuff, nothing. But I got shortlisted on every company which I applied to. So like this is the ideal kind of CV which you should put forward.
Awesome, understood. So can you probably take us through three, four parameters, right, on the basis of which one CV gets shortlisted? And the reason we're asking this is because roughly around 5,000 CAs, pass out every single attempt, both in the old and new course, and there are very few very lucrative opportunities. And as per our understanding, you have been able to make, probably made the shortlist in every single one of them, right? And while seeing your CV, I see that it's a very plain black and white format, but it has enough content for recruiters to understand that you probably are a right fit for the role. So, can you walk us through your entire CV once, and then we'll probably finalize on key parameters that people have to consider?
Correct. So yeah, let's start. So like you can see, like there are some personal details on the top front, on the like the top front side of my CV. These are like very basic details: name, email ID, contact number, and address. This is like something which you should give. You should like they should understand whose CV they are looking at and all that stuff. You can play around with that. You can keep your name in like middle aligned and make it like increase the font size or change the font size for your name. Something that's something which you can play around with. These are all personal details which is like mandatory for a recruiter to know, like for how should they reach out to you if they want to reach out, like they have your email ID or phone number, or if they want to post something or give you a letter, so they can post it to your address. These are the personal details. Second comes, so like there has been a lot of debate which should come first, which should come second, which should come third. So I think like the most important thing they like the recruiters are looking at is your qualification. So this kind of table is really helpful for them to like if I this is like if you see at a glance you can understand everything. Like if I spend like 5 seconds, I can understand, okay, everything. Okay, he has done CA final in this year, the CA IPCC in this year, a foundation in this year. Okay, he has also completed BCom. When has he done 12th standard, 10th standard, which board, what was the percentage he got, how many attempts, or what is like what are the special achievements he got in that particular qualification which he got, or like say 10th standard you have fifth rank, or like state topper or something like that. So and percentage and CGPA is something which like does not matter really in CA course, but uh, like there are places where it does matter. But so this is something like this table is something which you can put it out first, and this gives a lot of detail, lot of required details. Instead of putting it in like a formatted text type or line by line, this is something which is very efficient way to put it out. After that comes work experience. So
Sorry to cut you out. I mean, I have actually two questions that I probably want the viewers to understand as well, right? One, as I can see, is you've put it in a reverse chronological order. What I mean by that is it is starting from your most recent qualification, right from your 10th standard, right? Is this something that is expected for everyone to follow? Because it is very pleasing to the eye when I look at it. So would you recommend this? And secondly, a lot of people put in an objective box right above academic
yeah, yeah,
qualifications,
yeah.
right? A lot of people talk about what they want to do, where they want to be. Is that something that is recommended? If you can touch upon these 2 points.
Yeah, so like thanks for putting it out, Anirudh. So the objective, I'll take the objective one first because that is like above the academic qualification, which we like in the order. So the thing is, objective is like it's very vague. Like you generally write to like to learn new things, or to be a part of the esteemed corporate and be a part of that team, and grow up the ladder and stuff. So like if you have space, like this is a very judgmental call. Like if you want to see, like if you see your CV and you have enough space that you can fit in objective lines, keep it as a last priority. Frame out your CV entirely, and if you see there are some spaces left out in the end, you can't fit in everything, or like, there are, after, even if the fitting is everything, there is some space left out, then you can add in objective to like it's a very strategic call. Okay, like my CV should not look, say, empty, but it is not also very jammed up. So for example, my CV, if you see, I had no space, I had to cut it out. But it's like it's not a game changer or anything. Like everyone knows you are going to copy paste from someone or else. So objective is not a game changer, but it's a strategic decision if you want to put it or not. And like no harm in putting it, no harm in not putting it. It's very neutral. It's all your call depending on how long your CV is. And the second question you asked was academic qualification. How do you put it in like reverse chronological order? So something which I would like to tell, no, like the recruiters are not very keen on knowing like when you like what score you got in 10th standard, or like when did you do your 10th standard. So like these are the three important things they would look at. Okay, like CA final he did on this year, IPCC did that, this is the year, and BCom has it done in BCom or not. So this is something like you should always follow this reverse chronological order, rather than putting it out like from 10th standard, then 12th, then after like BCom and all that stuff. So like important things are highlighted first, and your mind does not get occupied in, okay, reading first, okay, 10, 12th, and then all the remaining important stuff. So this is the reason that this should be the ideal table.
Understood. Awesome. I mean, makes a lot of sense because you want the first two, three line items to be highlighted better, and that probably props up, very, very easily to the eye as well, if I can say. Now, probably moving on to your work experience, right? So this CV, as we understand, is right after you finish your articleship and when you apply for your first job after your examinations.
Correct.
So can you probably walk us through what stands out here for any recruiter based on which they were able to shortlist you?
Understood. So like this is the most time consuming thing in the CV. So this might take you like maybe if you are smart enough, it might take you 5 6 hours. It might take you 2 weeks, or even like a couple of weeks. This is the place where you can play around, and have like a lot of people have focus on this area because they want, like, the recruiters want to know what you have actually learned, and how you can help that, be a part of their team, and help them to like be a part of that team, and uh, be a good team player or something like that. So I did my articleship from KPMG. So I had mentioned this is where I did my articleship, and because of our like our attempt was postponed and stuff, so my articleship was over. So like I was as a full time there after my results. So I had put key. This is very important. You should write where did you do your articleship, what was your last position held, so they understand, okay, if you're the article, if you're like uh, executive, or you've gotten converted to full time. And you should also mention the tenure. So I have mentioned August 17 to March 21. So I left KPMG in March 21. So that is the reason I've put there as March 21. If you're still there, you can write August 17, whatever, like XX to present. So they understand, okay, you're still working there, and maybe your articleship is gonna get over. That is the reason your result is coming up, or your result has already been out, and you're looking for a change. So this is like for the time frame. Going for the what work you have done. So like you can put in like maybe mine was mostly in statutory and tax audit. So I wrote key I've done like statutory and tax audits and limited reviews and quarterly audits and all that stuff. But if you see, the most important thing is to highlight the keywords. So if you see in first line, I've highlighted I have bold statutory and tax audits. Why? Because that was a key. Like 90% of the time, what I did was statutory and tax audit. So this is something which I want to show them. So first line, you will tell what kind of work you did. Maybe if you're in taxation, you can tell, okay, you did like tax return filing, or maybe some ITRs, or ITAT, whatever. Like you may have done some legal proceedings and all that stuff. So you can put it out in that way. Second is in audit what you did. So I was like, you will tell key what was your exposure in various industries. So this is something like in which industries you worked on will have the key focus of the recruiters. If you see, for example, if you want to get into an FMCG role, FMCG industry for a management training role, they would see, okay, has this guy already worked in FMCG, or has he done some audit of FMCG company? So they would generally look at this. It's not very hard and fast. Okay, if you have only done FMCG, then you'll get FMCG. Like I also got a few offers from FMCG companies, but it's not necessary that, like, if you can see, I don't have any experience in the FMCG as such. So most of the questions in your interview, in the technical round, in the personal round, would be around this, like what did you learn in IT industry? So they can see, okay, you have done IT industry. So what are the most, like they can ask, what are the three most important things when you see a IT industry, like a financial statement? So what is the major expense in IT industry? Like a lot of questions around this. What are the kind of industries you are exposed to? After that, you can tell key what kind of, like in IT industry, for example, in this industries, what kind of work you did. So now I was like a part of a team. So like, and if you see, I have highlighted a lot of numbers here. I have highlighted core member of a 25 people team, so they can understand, okay, he's a team player. He know how to be be around a team, and how to be a team player. So this highlights, yeah, I was a member of a 25 member team, 25 people team, and did a statutory as well as quarterly audit of 350,000 million listed company. So they can understand, okay, he has done listed audit clients with having a turnover of 350,000. So this highlights that, okay, he has done a big client. So 350,000 million is not something which you can see every day. So this is something which you should highlight. And what did you do in that? So you also, like, apart from the parent company, you also did audit of subsidiaries. And you have I have also mentioned he collaborated with CFO, finance control, and finance team doing critical areas. So in that particular client, what did you do? So this is something which I did. So I did revenue, receivables, taxation, and final deliverables for 10 quarters. So I was working on that client for like 10 quarters. So I had mentioned this. So the highlight here is I have mentioned numbers which catch more attention. Like I was a member of 25 people team, and the turnover of that company was 350,000. So this is something which will set your CV apart from others. Going forward to the next line. Yeah, Anirudh, do you have something to say?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I was just wondering how you were able to quantify this, right? Because a lot of people don't probably recall or they don't keep a track of the teams they worked with. For
Correct.
you, luckily, you had probably access to a single team and one really large client, right? A lot of people, how would you recommend people to keep a track during their articleship itself? If people who are doing articleship are watching this video, or how do you probably take a step back and analyze your last 3 years, right? Because I've personally found it difficult to quantify something on my CV. So how did you go about with that?
Okay, like this is again a very great question, and like a lot of people might face this issue. So I had a habit of like after like we had this yearly reviews, And in yearly reviews, you used to tell ki these are the number of clients you did, what is the kind of work you did. But I'm sure not everyone has done it, or not everyone has access to it. So what we can do is take a time, take a day or something, think about what all you have done, get in touch with your seniors, ask them what you did, what better you could do, and what was the thing that they like. And um, you can put like you can frame out a rough structure, and you can see how many clients you have done, what was their revenue. If it is if it is like, if information is publicly available, you know that you have done this client, you can just google it, or see in the filings and see what was the revenue and stuff, so you can get those numbers from that. But if it's not listed, you can obviously reach out to your seniors and ask them, okay, I want to put this in my CV. Is it, first ask if it's allowed. It's not allowed for everyone, but like maybe some private companies won't show their revenue in public forums. So ask them if it's allowed, and if it's allowed, you can ask them what was the revenue and what is the recent revenue. And do you, like, if you are not able to recall, ask them do you remember what all areas I did, or have, if so in first year you don't have like independent areas, you assist someone else, so you can ask them what were the areas I did, or what were the areas you did in which I assisted. So that is something which you could follow.
Understood. And what I clearly see on your resume as well, right, is you've started off as being a part of a team, right? And the next point is you talking about how you led a team, right? So all of this probably boils down to the fact that you're a team player who has grown with a group or a team and started to lead a team as well. And
Correct.
two aspects here. One is people would have been probably similar to this, and a lot of people would not have had the chance to lead teams, right? How important do you think it is to probably mention something like this on the resume?
So, like, this is one of the most important skill recruiters are looking in your in your CV, or looking when they're hiring, because they're hiring. They when they hire you, they don't see that you're going to be only for 2 3 years. They want to see that you are going to be in that company or in that firm for a longer period of time, and maybe at some point of time you will be in a leadership position. So they want to see how good you are as a leader, or how have you got any leadership experience already. So like I have mentioned here, he led a four member team. So this means, okay, he has led a four-member team, which is a small team, but he has some leadership skills. He knows how to how to be the face of that client, how to deal with the client meetings and all that stuff. So this is something which you should highlight it if you have done it. But there can be cases where you have not got exposure to lead a team or something like that. In that case you can always tell ki you might not have led the team, but you might have led some independent part of it. So maybe
Right.
you look out you were the only one who audited revenue and receivables. So there was no one who was going to assist you, or be like mentor you or something. So you can tell you are the sole person who audited audit, like say, revenue and receivables, or the direct review was by the manager or partner. There was no one assistant manager or senior, anyone apart from above you. So you should always highlight and always see how you can highlight your leadership skills in it. And again, I have quantified it in numbers here. So I mentioned like that was a 250 crore client. So I had mentioned okay, 2,500 million was the revenue, like there was their turnover and all that stuff. How many years I led the client and all that stuff. So
Amazing, amazing. I think this probably tells us a lot of about how what you've done in horticulture plays a very big role in getting shortlisted, and also probably leads on to what questions you might get asked in the interview as well, because it plays a very probably very big factor there, right? Sure, Abhijeet. I mean, really a lot of insights into how the work experience part of it should be. Apart from that, there is a very important aspect that I see here, which is rewards and recognition at work itself, right? Can you take us through that?
yeah, so like apart from what you did, like how were you recognized or rewarded by the team is also very important in a previous employment. So like you can tell whatever awards you might have got, or whatever rating you like. So there is yearly rating. You might try to, if it is above average, you can mention that okay, it's like you have got this kind of rating, or if you have got any awards, or any kind of recognition you might have got from the team, that is something which you should put it out. Obviously you have got it, so this is something you should highlight. Okay, I am not a average person, and like you should put it out. That
Right.
is what will distinguish you from the rest 5,000. So this is very important.
Understood. And probably can we go on to one is the work experience part, right? Apart from this, one thing that always stands out in every resume that I see is something that is an extracurricular activity or something that you've done either in college, in school, or positions of responsibility that you have probably held as an individual or something that you've done as a part of a larger group, right? And I see a lot of that on your resume. So can you probably take us through the extracurricular part of it?
Yeah. So thankfully, I was like not only into studies, I did a lot of other things, and that is something which actually was it was actually gave me a lot of advantage. That differentiated me from the like maybe 5,000 applications which they had. So so the thing is that you should put it out. Like if you had some position of responsibility, you should put it out. So like I was sports captain, I put it out what I did. I was a national level fencer for I represented my school, like then to my state, then to my college, and then to university. So I mentioned it out. Okay, this is all what I've done. So this will tell, okay, this is like this is a person who is not only into studies. They understand, okay, this he has done some other work also. And if there are like every MNC or every company has this extracurricular thing, so they will always have some of the other events. Maybe there can be events such as like in-house sports, or yeah, interfirm core sports competitions and stuff. So this will like they would always see, okay, this is a fun person like to have us in our team. And there is this one test which a lot of companies have. This is called as airport test. So what they do is, if you are stuck with that same person uh, at an airport for 5 hours, would it be is he a fun person to be with? So, for example, this is something which I've seen in a lot of consulting firm doing. So this like maybe like when the recruiters see your CV, they see, okay, if one of my existing employee is stuck with this, maybe because of some delay in the flight, will like are do my existing employee will have a good time with him at the airport. So this is something which you want to put. Okay, like I have a lot of knowledge apart from studies, so we can always share your stories about how good you were in school or what extracurricular activities you did. So this is something which like this is an airport test which a lot of recruiters do have a look at. And going back to extracurricular activities, like everyone has or will definitely have some or the other extracurricular activities. Put it out, whatever it is. You can like if you are a painter, you can write it out. Whatever it is, you should put it out. That will tell. So everything has some of the other skill reflecting in it. If you're a painter, they know you have some creative imagination or something. So I wrote like I write on Quora, so they know, okay, he knows how to write it out, or how he has a social presence as well. So this is something which has a like every extracurricular has some skill attached to it. So this will portray how good your CV is, or can you be differentiated, or do you have an upper hand over the other applications?
Understood. Amazing, because what I probably see, a lot of insights coming from the whole CV part, right? And I'll try summarizing the whole thing, and please correct me if I'm wrong while I go through it, right? So one thing is we have to maintain a very basic format. There is no requirement of a photograph or any colors for that matter. A black and white simple format will suffice, right? Starting off with that, personal details, it's important to give them your name, your address, if you're comfortable with it, and your contact number for the sole reason that the recruiter can reach out to you in case of any specific reason. After that, academic qualifications in a reverse chronological order, which gives the recruiter the identity to see what is your probably most recent achievement, and then go back to your 10th and 12th if required. So this and it can probably be in a tabular format, as can be seen here. After that, probably going on to the work experience, like you mentioned, please mention the tenure you've worked with the firm or the company, probably like how it's mentioned here for August 17 to March 2021. This gives the recruiter the idea of whether you are currently employed with them and are available for immediate joining, or you still have some time and you have a notice period pending as well. so that this can probably determine whether you are shortlisted or not. After that, you have to mention probably the last position held, like Abhijeet mentioned, which tells us where you've exited the firm and what position, how much of seniority did you have in that particular firm. Going on, two very important aspects is to quantify the number of probably the impact that you've created or the companies you've worked with. For example, your clients. Here we have a 350,000 million turnover client that Abhijit has probably audited. And it's very important that you put it out there because recruiters want to know that you've worked with the biggest of MNCs and are capable of handling anything that can come across your path when you work for that specific company. That is extremely important. Second aspect is if you're a part of a team and part of a larger group, please do mention it. And also mention how you have been a part and transitioned into a leadership role, probably within the same team as well. That probably gives you brownie points, if we can say. Apart from this, if you have received any recommendations or awards during work, mention that as well because this again elevates your resume to a higher position. There are 5,000 people applying out there for very similar roles. For your resume to stand out, it has to have all of these parameters, if it can be said that way. Moving on from work experience, we have positions of responsibility and other extracurricular activities, which, while it's extremely important, not everyone can possibly be a national level athlete like Abhijit here. Some people might be really good dancers, musicians, you might be trained in classical music, you might be playing a different sport. Please do mention anything that is not academics oriented here because you want to be known for something apart from your CA curriculum or your CA course. And that personally from both of us, we have seen a lot of people who do not have such items on their resume and hence do not get shortlisted. So if you have anything apart from the norm, please do put it out there. Last, probably talk about how your date of birth, it's not really essential in the last probably the column here. If you put it up, it probably gives the recruiter an idea of how old you are to begin with and how much of experience you've garnered in a very short span in a professional career, if I can say. Um, while this is a format across, and it can be used as a common format for everyone out there, if you're a ranker, please do mention your rank because that definitely adds to the prospect of you being shortlisted. If you are someone who's gone to a regular college apart and not a correspondence college, please do mention that as well. It does tend to probably be a parameter. The third parameter is if your articleship is from a big four or a or a non-big four, please mention the firm's name as well. It does play a role in it. And fourth, and very important, is extracurricular activities like we stressed upon, which if you have anything, please do put it out there because again, your CVs or your resumes do get shortlisted on that regard, right? I think this is probably what goes into a good CV. And thank you, Abhijit, so much for taking out time and taking us through this. One final question, right? A lot of people talk about how cover letters are extremely important.
Correct.
Is that something we might cover in our next video, or do you want to throw in a little bit of probably shed some light on that today?
Yeah, we can like cover letter is like it's not a mandate and like not everyone looks for like not every recruiter looks for it, but obviously it sets you apart from the other applications as well. So a cover letter is just a gist of your like your past background or why you are applying and what is your future. So it is just a gist of it. Probably we can cover a short video over cover letter particularly because not a lot of people are aware of it, and I'm sure like I took your help for cover letter and you are the like most appropriate person to tell how a cover letter should be. Apart from that, I just want to add one more thing for this, like for building up your CV. If you have done any other course apart from CA, chartered accountancy, any professional degree, anything, just put it out. It is also a layer of filter which will set you apart from the other applications. So do like whatever you have done, put it out in precise words, and no you as far as possible, or no, like make it a mandate. It should be a one pager CV, not more than one page. Simple one pager CV sets you apart from everyone. So
I mean, that's
look
probably a
like
very
that.
important point, right? Because my CV for and these words are very interchangeable. CV and resume are very interchangeable
Yeah.
words, right? And you can probably interchange them. And even in the video today, we might have interchanged and used them. CV is basically a repository of sorts, if I can say, whereas resume is more probably personalized to the company you're applying to. right? So keeping that in mind, this is probably a CV of yours, and you have to modify it according to the company you're applying it to, if I can say. And like Abhijeet mentioned, please do not extend it beyond one page. You probably have 3 years of experience today in articleship, so try restricting it to one page. Even seasoned professionals with 20 years of experience keep it to one page. So why can't we do the same, right? So had a great time, Abhijeet. Thank you so much for taking out time, giving us a lot of insights, and I hope this really helps our viewers as well.
Yeah. And for further help of that, what we can do is we can create a database of the all kind of CVs which we have, or which are which might help them, some from auditing background, taxation background, like industrial trainees, and all that kind of CVs which we have. Via a database. We'll create a database and put it out in this link. Do check it out as well. It might be a great help. So this is something which which would help you a lot, and this would give you a head start. Okay, this is something which you can start with. So yeah,
Sure,
looking forward.
definitely. And how about telling probably the viewers where you're currently working as well, so that they know that after you've built a particular CV of this type, you've actually got into a good company.
Yeah, so I am working currently at JP Morgan as an investment banking analyst. So I always wanted to work either in investment banking or as a consultant. So I ended up as an investment banker. I'm happy with that. And yeah, so like this CV landed me a job into investment banking. Hope you also get your dream job soon.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Abhijeet.
Thank you. Thank you, Anirudh.